Well, we're expensing it anyway, right? So I'm gonna have the chicken. I'm gonna have the chicken. This is the best chicken at any lobster restaurant.
One of the unique things about being a CFO for a company that sells financial software is my team is typically the very first customer for SAP Concur. I think when you're in a growth mode, you're constantly coming up against new challenges, new things that you can't plan for. Every new market we go into is going to have unique rules, whether it's tax rules, rules around automation of receipts and what documentation has to be stored. Understanding the requirements of those markets is the first thing we do. My role as CFO obviously is to mitigate risk, not only for our company, but also for our employees. So understanding where those risks are, understanding how those employees are impacted is helpful to me in terms of making sure that we have the ability to still do our jobs and make sure our employees are in a position where they can be safe and still stay out of harm's way. The safeguards we have in place for ensuring employees are in compliance with our travel policies are actually embedded in the tool itself. I like to think of finance as a partner that enables the business. The relationship between finance and IT in our organization, it's something where we work closely together to make sure that the entire back office can function in a way that we can minimize our cost and maximize our efficiency. So it's important to our stakeholders that we get them timely and accurate information so then they can turn around and make those good business decisions. I like to challenge my team to go a step further and be involved and engaged in those decisions and bring an additional perspective that maybe the business owners don't have. You can look at it all as one comprehensive view and get a really good understanding of where you're spending money in your company. Where are your biggest risks, where are your biggest opportunities, and where would you benefit the most by directing spend in the future. Having the opportunity to automate processes in a way that can scale where you don't have to keep adding headcount to support those back office functions, I think is key to success.
Something's got me feeling kinda strange today. Something in the town has gone insane, and they are coming after everybody every day, not just the end of month. Doesn't matter if you're working all the way, needing to escape from all the dreadful days.
SAP コンカーならあらゆる支払い方法と自動連携、入力レスでどこでも精算。
Well, we're expensing it anyway, right? So I'm gonna have the chicken. I'm gonna have the chicken. This is the best chicken at any lobster restaurant.
Welcome to the webinar. Before we start, here are some tips for you to interact with us. You are welcome to submit a question using the Q&A widget. Also, don't forget to fill in the survey form before the end of the event. Here are more tips for you to enhance your experience. This webinar is being streamed through your computer, and that is no doubt in number. All the widgets on your screen are resizable and movable. If your slides are behind, push F5 or function plus F5 on your keyboard to refresh your page. For any inquiry, feel free to contact us by email or phone. Let's start the webinar.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for attending the SAP Concur webinar on how finance processes help you to better respond, adapt, and survive in an uncertain economy. I'm Hermie Chu, Territory Director of SAP Concur. To kickstart today's event, I would like to share with you some interesting findings from the recent PwC's COVID-19 CFO Pulse survey, which have interviewed around 1,000 CFOs around the world. As they implement return-to-work strategies, CFOs are more concerned about the effect of a global economic downturn, the possibility of a new wave of infection, and financial impact on their company. At the same time, companies are embracing new ways of working, with 52% reporting that they plan to make remote work a permanent option for roles that allow, and 52% saying they plan to improve the remote working experience. In view of the uncertain economy and the new normal remote working, we would like to share with you today how companies can improve their finance processes to better adapt and survive for driving cost optimization and productivity gain. First of all, I would like to briefly introduce SAP Concur. SAP Concur has been focusing on delivering the best spend management solution to the market for more than 27 years. It drives a relentless pursuit of what's possible into today's travel, expense, and invoice processes, continuously developing new tools to automate and integrate them. Right now, SAP Concur has over 46,000 customers in 150 countries, including 75% of Fortune 100 and 500 companies, and taking up 54.1% of market share around the world. SAP Concur provides a robust and scalable cloud-based platform that can manage a large volume of data. In a typical day, there are over 2 million users logged in and up to 700,000 expense reports are being processed. Here's our agenda today. Firstly, Victor Hui from SAP Concur will share with us how to transform your spend management processes to strive for cost savings in challenging times. Then we will have Victor Chen, Director of Commercial Payment Solutions from MasterCard, to talk about how digital payment help increase efficiency and streamline your operation. Afterwards, Maggie Mock, Senior Solution Manager from SAP, will share with us the topic of resilience with financial readiness. Then others will join back for the Q&A section. Now, let me pass the mic to Victor Hui for his sharing. Thanks, Victor.
Thank you very much, Hami. Hello, I'm Victor Hui, Pre-Sales Solutions Manager in SAP Concur. I would like to share with you on how to do transformation on the spend management process to have cost saving in such a really challenging period right now. SAP Concur offers a seamless, scalable, end-to-end spend management platform that gives customers greater visibility, control, and employee productivity. The core product suite, expense, travel, and invoice, together with the network which is integrated among all global and local partners in ecosystems. With SAP Concur, you will find the end-to-end total spend management that offers the in-depth functionalities based on our best practice and experience in different countries and helps manage your spending inside and outside of your organization. For instance, you can leverage our Concur platform to audit 100% of your expenses with machine learning technology and automated audit rules. The employees across all departments, including finance department, will benefit with the values arising from the connected ecosystem of the partners, apps, and suppliers, and ERP integrations. If you have some workload that you want to outsource to SAP Concur to do, it is also possible. For example, you can outsource all the services for your internal employees' expenses to our Concur audit service team to do the eyeball checking and ensure the expenses are in compliance with the corporate rules of the company. According to the study from some consultancy firms, the following corporate spending strategy will be suggested in order to drive the cost saving and cash flow in a strategic way. First, you need to boost productivity through the initiative of digitalization. This is a very fundamental step and mindset that you need to foster in your mind. Second, proactive management of cash outflows in order to have a better pre-spend and budget control. Third, any out of the policy spending by enforcing an effective compliance rules and policies within your organization. Fourth, you also need to increase the visibility and spend governance in order to achieve cost optimization. Let me start with the digitalization strategy on invoice process first by walking through a day-to-day example in your organization. Imagine that you want to purchase a printer for your office you can create a purchase request in Concur and submit for approval. When your manager approves your purchase, he or she can see the budget impact and approve on mobile or web anytime and anywhere. Once approved, PO can be automatically generated and ready to be sent to the vendor. When you receive the printer, you can also mark the receipt in the system if necessary. Afterwards, you get the invoice from the vendor through email. You can simply upload this electronic invoice to the platform or scan the hard copy of the invoice into the platform. Concur automatically extracts the invoice details through the OCR technology. The key information, including the vendor name, invoice date, invoice number, and amount, as well as the key line items information, including the product description, quantity, and amount, will be captured. In this case, a lot of the data entry time has been saved. Once the invoice details are populated in the system, embedded policy checks helps me to identify any exceptions that I need to be aware of, such as mismatch of the PO and invoices. After checking is done and invoices are matched, I can submit the invoice online. System can route the invoice to corresponding approvers automatically according to your rules. Approvers can approve the mobile or web anytime to shorten the approval process. Subsequently, the invoice can go to the finance for final check and be posted to the accounting system. With such digitalization process in place from end to end, the finance department will save more time for better cash flow management. On the other hand, for the T&E process, you can effortlessly manage end-to-end expense claim process through the digitalization strategy. Let's walk through an example. Being an employee, you can file expense claims not only through the web interface, but also via the Concur native mobile app at any time and anywhere. Suppose that I'm the employee who need to take a business trip or need to get my client entertainment expenses for pre-approval. After I have submitted my request, my manager can use his or her mobile to approve it. In the meantime, the manager can check if the request exceeds the assigned budget. The manager can also see the budget trending and consumption details on mobile. If it is okay, the manager will approve on the mobile. After receiving the approval message from my manager, I can use Concur Travel, which is a consumer-grade online booking tool, to book my flights and hotels. With Concur Travel, I can easily search those preferred airlines and hotels that are compliant to the company policy at any time and anywhere. During the trip, I pay the meal with my corporate card. Such transaction will be posted to the Concur platform automatically. After I took the Uber, since my Uber profile was connected with my Concur profile already, the e-receipt from Uber will also be automatically placed into my Concur account, thus reducing a lot of the manual input and avoid human input error. For those transactions paid by cash, I can take a picture on the receipt using the Concur mobile app. With OCR technology, relevant expense items information will be captured and the transaction will be automatically classified for me based on the machine learning technology. It reduces the input effort. This is also very useful when the receipt is lost by accident. Concur platform will also allow the customer to put the audit rules and policies in the system. Meal limit, for example, if it is over, the platform will prompt the user and manager with an alert. From the company point of view, it is to ensure compliance throughout the organization, and the employee claim behavior can also be fine-tuned. After I have submitted the expense report, my manager can be notified and approve my expense report using mobile app. My manager can see the necessary details such as policy exception, receipt images at the fingertip. Mobile-enabled process shorten the entire processing time. As for the strategy on pre-spend and budget control, an employee can raise a purchase request specifying what kind of product or services to buy, or a pre-approval request for travel or some entertainment expense. Before the manager approves the request, they care about not only the rationale behind this request, but also the amount and the impact to the budget as well. The manager can see the near real-time visibility on the budget, how this request amount can impact the budget, where were the budget spent before, and the trend of the spending, etc. In order to allow the manager can make better decisions right at fingertips, he or she can also see the budget performance and related information in Concur mobile app, same as the web interface as well. Therefore, near real-time pre-spend control can be achieved. In the budget dashboard, on top of the overall budget status, you can see more details like who is the spending, or who has spent, or how much is the amount, what is the spend purpose, when it happened, how did it affect my budget in terms of percentage. This information is very important to budget owners, as they can look into where to allocate the resources and ensure spending is in line with the budget. It helps them to make a wiser or more informed spend decision. The other strategy is about effective compliance enforcement. Audit rules can be set up to check the payment request against the company policies to enforce proper control upon the submission. For example, the audit rules can be based on the invoice number, vendor name, expense type, and invoice amount to identify duplicate invoice. You can also trigger additional approval flow if the requested amount is above a certain amount. This will safeguard the possibility to overpay the suppliers and make sure outgoing cash are really in line with the business initiatives and requirements. In T&E aspect, you may see that a lot of the organizations have different T&E policy for different cost centers, staff profiles, and expense categories. For example, regional and local office employees may have different hotel spend limits. Expect may be granted to access certain benefits such as club membership claims. It can be a challenge for employees, managers, and finance to understand all these rules. With Concur, you can see or set the audit rules with the granular parameters in the system. System can then automatically check the entitlement and alert the employee accordingly. Therefore, the employees would immediately know the expense policy in a personalized way. It is more efficient to educate the employees on the current policy and encourage them to become more responsible for the spending. If necessary, the system can route to the corresponding personnel for approval accordingly to ensure proper control in various situations. For better spend control, many companies would set up approval routing according to different situations. For example, claims would go to different approvers according to the spend amount, spend categories, spend purpose, and cost owners, etc. With SAP Concur, such a logic can be embedded in the approval workflow, and the system can route to the corresponding personnel for approval. Audit trail is enabled in order to ensure accountability of each role. For gift and hospitality spend, companies in some industry, such as financial services and insurance, will require capturing the intended information as one of the anti-bribery measures. To efficiently capture attendee names, Concur supports adding and searching from the list. Per head bill limit can also be set according to the different attendee types with automated alert and special approval routing. Such alerts can serve to educate employees for more responsible and compliant spend behavior. Captured attendee spend information can also be used for suspected fraud analysis. Also, there are some companies that worry about the hidden non-compliant expenses. One of the common sources will be the hotel spend, which may hide away some out-of-policy items such as laundry, TV programs, or minibars if there is no breakdown in expense report. If the employees are asked to break down the spend, it can be very time-consuming and error-prone task. With SAP Concur, employee can simply email forward the hotel folio to Concur email address so that all the items will be automatically itemized for you to reduce the data entry effort. Rules can be set to highlight the out-of-policy item and enable employee to declare any personal charges during the hotel stay. With such feature, it is very easy for the company to identify out-of-the-policy spending. Besides flagging out the exceptions during the expense claim process, many organizations would like to have regular review of spend policy execution to evaluate execution effectiveness and room for improvement. With SAP Concur, organizations can look into the previewed compliance analysis. They can see the compliance trending and drill down to see if certain exceptions are attributed to certain employees in particular situation. Organizations then get actionable insights on what to do next, such as spend policy training or policy revision. In terms of strategy on increasing the visibility and spend governance on the cash flow, a lot of the companies would have the different expenses shared by the other departments or projects. For example, rental costs, marketing event costs, or the IT project costs, which will be allocated to different projects, cost centers, or product lines. In Concur, users can easily use a drop-down list or template for cost allocation. The Concur platform can automatically route to the corresponding cost owner for approval, so that you will be able to see the granular analysis on which department or project has spent the money. The corresponding owners will know what to do, what to spend, or what has been spent. With this cost allocation feature, cash flow can be managed much more precisely. In order to increase your visibility and corporate spend efficiency, you can build key metrics for your company's combined spend associated with your company's expense report and invoices. For example, you'll be able to see the trend for the combined T&E and invoice spending, what is the amount of the accruals, what is the impact on your cash flow and budgets. All these spend decisions are very critical to the business survival and profitability of an organization right now. You can also see what is the life cycle or processing time of the expense and invoices submission, approval, and payment. Therefore, you can evaluate the need for changes in the expense and procurement processes. In most of the time, you may want to know more granular analysis of your vendor spend. For example, how much you spend on certain vendors, what are the top spenders in your organization, what are the spend trends for different expense types. With such kind of information, you can have a better understanding on vendor spending status in your organization. You can also negotiate better terms with those vendors you have spent most with. When you want to have a better picture on the cash flow and liabilities in your organization, how do you do it right now without any system? You may ask, how easy is it for the accounting departments to see accurately all invoices that have been received but not yet paid? For a paper-based process, the accounting department can see those invoices only after manager approval is completed, which may be a bit late. With Concur Invoice Platform, the accounting department can have instant visibility into all outstanding payables to the suppliers, no matter what stage of the process the invoice is. This allows the business to efficiently manage the cash flow and accruals and avoids any surprises. Some customers told us that it is very difficult to get visibility into all committed spend prior to invoices arriving and being keyed into their finance system. This is particularly important for the multi-period project costs. Concur Invoice Platform can provide a report that shows all invoices received against each purchase order. This provides a summary total of the invoices received and, most importantly, an outstanding balance for the overall purchase order, providing that visibility into committed spend. By capturing granular data, organizations can analyze spend in many different dimensions. They can then understand what are the main cost drivers to assist better cost optimization decision. For example, line manager would like to see who will spend most in certain period of time so as to minimize the unnecessary expenses. On the other hand, the procurement manager will probably like to see which suppliers they have spent more with so that they can reduce the vendor costs by negotiating better rates and terms with these vendors. Moreover, if you want to spend on what matters most, you can see the granular cost analysis report for different cost center and projects. You can see how much they have been spent for some customers, projects, or events. Even the sales department can make any adjustment in their business strategy in order to optimize spending. If your organization has already been using the corporate card for T&E expenses, such as Amex, Visa, and MasterCard, there are out-of-the-box integrations with Concur. This is a report showing which credit card transactions are still outstanding for expense claims. This helps you know ahead how much of the employees have spent, and you can reserve enough cash to pay for this transaction, as well as remind the corresponding employees for these outstanding transactions. Sometimes the employees may forget to claim the outstanding credit card transactions for those corporate card balance is paid by the company. Reminders will be sent to the employees. If there are any overdue transactions, they will be notified to the employees, or when necessary, even escalated to the employee's manager as well. As a result, the on-time report submission habit will be encouraged within the whole organization, which in turn optimizes the cash flow easily for all committed credit card transactions. This report identifies expense items that were under the receipt limit in effect at the time of the submission, but were very close to the limit. Employees who are aware of the receipt limits may submit expenses fraudulently, knowing that documentation is not necessary for these expenses. Employees who submit these types of the expenses frequently may need to be audited more closely or placed into a limit group with a lower receipt threshold. Now, before coming to the end of my presentation, let me summarize what I have mentioned earlier as a summary for the strategy of your total spend management. First, digitalization mindset is very important within your organization and up to your management level. Second, another important thing to keep your mind is that pre-spend and budget control for proactive management of the cash outflows. Third, you will need to enforce an effective compliance rules and policy within your organization. Lastly is that you also need to increase the visibility and spend governance for cost optimization. Thank you very much for everyone on the line. Hope you enjoyed this section. If you have any question, please feel free to raise it up. Let us see if there's any question or not. All right. Now I can see there are two questions from the Q&A panel. The first one is that, maybe I read it out right now. How many languages are supported by SAP Concur? Let me answer it. Actually, Concur platform supports 27 languages, including English, traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and most of the European languages, etc. in both web and mobile app environment. This is a quite comprehensive support in terms of the languages support. There is another question. How long is the project implementation usually? All right. In most of the case of our customer deployment, let's talk about Concur expense modules, for example, to be deployed. Usually the deployment takes only 10 to 12 weeks, done by our local Concur consultants from the day one to kick off the project. They have a lot of the skill sets, experiences, and there are lots of the best practice and templates available. That's why the implementation is very quick, and all of the projects are successfully deployed and online. So there's no more question from the Q&A panel. So now I would like to let Victor Cheng from MasterCard to talk about how digital payment help increase efficiency and streamline your operation. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor, for your insightful presentations on how to transform the spend management process to achieve cost saving during this difficult time. I am the second Victor in this webinar, who has the MasterCard business developments on commercial payment solution in Hong Kong and Macau. In today's session, My main focus will be to give you some market insight on spending patterns of commercial cards or credit card during COVID-19, and also what kind of benefits you can get by using SAP Concur and MasterCard solution. Talking about difficult time, T&E being the key vertical in commercial card has been severely affected by COVID-19, mainly due to the lockdowns in hundreds and thousands of cities. If you take a look at the chart here, you can find a projection which was done in 2018. At that time, we did foresee to have a very bright futures on my portfolio, namely commercial card. It was going to grow to $2.6 billion in 2022. But now, what next? No expert can foresee when this drama will come to an end. According to a statement on the 28th of July 2020 from International Aviation Travel Association, namely IATA, the global passenger traffic will not be back to pre-COVID-19 level until 2024, so 3 years to go. So how can you make use of your corporate card when T&E is not available? Has there been any change on spending pattern during COVID-19? The answer can be found on this slide. This slide shows the spend of commercial card in Hong Kong until July, and its year-on-year changes. As you can see, the travel-related verticals have been impacted most. Travel agencies, airlines, hotel, motel dropped 81%, 73%, and 7% respectively. Even restaurant and bars, which is one of the key verticals within T&E, has been recorded a 48% drop due to travel restriction and social gathering ban in Hong Kong. Interestingly, even many businesses have been badly affected, but some of the categories' drop was much less than the travel-related one. For example, food store, which are supermarket, electronic appliance is providing equipment for working from home. Professional service is actually computer software and e-commerce transactions, which are very popular during this COVID-19 period. You can see the drop of this category is not as severe as the travel-related one. And furthermore, for another two categories, we even recorded growth, mainly the drugstores and other services. Drugstore is self-explanatory due to the cleaning material that you bought and the mask you and I are wearing every day. But other services is actually digital advertising, courier, and cloud computation. You may ask why other services grow that much. This is mainly due to the fact that businesses are shifting from offline to online, and also courier has become a key supporter of the online business. When people are not able to go out and they order something online, courier will be used to deliver goods to the right place at the right time. Another trend which we have noticed is that there is increasing use of contactless payment. Contactless can be done either via your card with contactless functionality or your Apple Pay, Google Pay, and Android Pay. As you can see from the left-hand side of the slide, it shows the COVID virus can stay on paper money for 4 days. So more and more people are trying to avoid any touch on paper notes and use contactless payment to avoid any infections. Okay, so much for the trends of card usage during COVID now. The key message I want to bring in here is actually corporate card can be used not only on T&E related expenses, but rather on everything that your company is purchasing. We are seeing this trend now on pivoting to non-travel related purchase as well. On top of this, using card to do company purchase can also reduce the risk of getting infected by virus. Coming to the part on how to improve efficiencies and streamline your operation as well as the benefits of using cards, I think Victor Hui has covered a lot of great solutions from SAP Concur to achieve this goal. What I want to address here is how to integrate your commercial card data with SAP Concur solution, as well as what additional benefits you can get from a commercial card program. Before consolidating your payables to cards, you are paying different suppliers by different means. For example, check, bank transfer, card, and cash. Also, your employees may fill out an Excel form, print it out, stick the receipt on it, and send for approval. This kind of process creates a lot of inefficiencies, and I have further figures to show you later on to demonstrate these statements. With a commercial card program in place, as well as SAP Concur, most of the items will be captured by card. What MasterCard can do is that we can integrate those data in generally a T+2 or T+3 manner, which means that we can send you the transaction data to SAP Concur 2 to 3 days after transactions happens. Your employees can then log into SAP Concur and do their expense with just a fingertip. Based on the research that MasterCard conducted earlier, a paper-based expense reporting will cost in general 76 minutes, whereas an electronic pre-populated model, namely commercial card plus SAP Concur, the processing time will be shortened to 35 minutes only, which means 54% of time saving for your employee, who can then focus on their work which generates income and revenue for your company. In addition to efficiency brought by commercial cards, there are also other tangible benefits. By using a commercial card, first of all, your days payable outstanding, DPO, will be extended, because in the market, general payment terms offered by card issuer is around 56 days. With these payment terms in place, your cash flows can be largely improved. Moreover, about acceptance, MasterCard is actually one of the most accepted card schemes in the world, with 52.9 million merchants accepting MasterCard. Comparing to other card schemes, which I don't want to mention the name, the blue one with an A, we are 40% more accepted worldwide. Other than that, most of the Hong Kong commercial card issuers also offer complimentary insurance to the corporate card program, which helps provide duty of care to your employees on one hand, and on the other hand, mitigate your risk to give cards to the employees. Here are two examples. A complimentary travel insurance, which is worth up to 1 million Hong Kong dollars, is being offered by one of the commercial card issuers in Hong Kong. They also include inconvenience insurance, such as travel delays and lost baggage. Another example is a corporate liability waiver insurance, which is per company US $1.5 million cap. This can protect you from any unauthorized spend right after your employees hand in the resignation letter. MasterCard from time to time also work with different partners to form an ecosystem in order to benefit the corporate. As we have seen the pivot from digital merchants, we have agreed with AWS to provide cloud service to corporates who wants to bring their business online. There is an offer $50 for sign up for new customers, and also $300 for existing customer who is willing to sign up new service with AWS. For those corporates who are looking at bringing your business online, this will be a very good offer for you. Furthermore, we understand that corporates want to ensure employees are well protected. Therefore, we have partnered with Gemtech, who provides a sanitization solution invented by Hong Kong UST, namely Germagic. This is a coating surface which is being used in many hospitals, KMB, our bus service, shopping malls, and restaurants. MasterCard cardholder will be able to enjoy discounts on their per square feet price. Another opportunity to increase revenue is to look at the VAT of your overseas spend. For purchase in overseas markets, VAT IT is an on-demand service which allows corporate to retrieve the VAT with no manual effort. For example, your hotel bills of your business trip, your exhibition and related spend, this can be all eligible for VAT claims. Idea is that VAT IT will go to your office periodically to collect all the purchase invoices from overseas purchase. Then they will help apply for tax refund from the respective tax authorities. The charge from them will be a percentage of your successfully claimed amount, which also means that for corporates, there is no extra cost, but only extra revenue. For other offers, MasterCard created a marketing platform called Prices, which has different offers to cater to your needs. For example, Hong Kong Taxi to book taxi and pay with card. This will allow you to take a taxi without touching on any paper note. Dialing in 9Kwai after the COVID-19 period is also available for you. We are actually working on more offers to help you bring your business online and also to protect your employee in the threat of COVID. Stay tuned with us on Mastercard Facebook page. You will find all the news offers there. This is all for today. Thank you so much for your time, and we can start the Q&A session now. Let me take a look. There are two questions here. The first one is there any charge for integrating data from commercial card to SAP Concur? So as far as we know, right, the issuers in Hong Kong don't charge a fee for sending data to SAP Concur. You can charge with your relationship manager from the banks for further details, but this is what we get from the market so far. Let me see the second questions. Okay, what are the financial incentives for using commercial cards? As mentioned earlier, there will be an average 56 days payment terms, which will help improve your cash flow. And on top of this, depending on the deals that you're going to sign with your banks, they may also provide you incentive according to your spend volume annually. So today you have no incentive, but only work when you pay your suppliers or your vendor. But in the future, you will have extra revenue out of your account payables. Thank you so much again for your time today. Now I'm going to hand over to Maggie from SAP to talk about the resilience with financial readiness. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Victor. My name is Maggie Mok. I'm pre-sales of SAP Hong Kong, specialized in finance and risk solutions. In the following 15 minutes, I would like to talk about resilience with financial readiness in the area of optimizing working capital and cash flow. The world has suddenly changed. Companies are unexpectedly facing new challenges and global downturn of the economy. So what is the stake? We can see that persistent volatility in the global economic conditions is the new normal. And Treasury is at the forefront of dealing with the resulting uncertainty. Due to pressure on liquidity within companies, we need to take more proactive approach in managing it. Evolving products and services from banks is strengthening existing methods to sustain bank relationships. Moreover, there is a risk to maintain integrity of data exchange between a corporate and their banks. Companies are looking for flexibility in managing relationships with multiple banks. They also need to manage their credit lines more proactively. And with fluctuating interest rates and their impacts on interest bill, companies need to constantly optimize their debt and investment management portfolio and expect to see the effect seamlessly in their cash flow forecasting activities. Treasurers also need tools to tap into all the awareness of maximizing liquidity, including receivables, payables, and other internal funding mechanisms. Due to liquidity crunch amongst the customer community, the cash-to-cash cycle is being stretched. Collecting open receivables in time is becoming an issue. More and more customers are falling in high credit risk categories. Volatility in forex and interest rate has increased, and commodity prices are unstable. Suddenly, the risk hedging strategies of the past are no longer relevant. All of these challenges drive treasurers to focus on increasing cash visibility and optimizing liquidity across their companies, improving various components of working capital management, and mitigating financial and operational risks. As the primary custodian of cash for the companies, therefore, finance and treasury organizations are required to step up and help companies to minimize the impact of crisis, maintaining business continuity, and emerge from uncertain times even stronger. While the response to the challenges needs to be focused and immediate, it does not limit the company's ability to advance in the future. They need to create a foundation that delivers consistent long-term benefits. So, where should finance and treasury organizations start? First, treasurers can invest the energy in increasing cash flow transparency. For example, to analyze minimum cash commitment and identify gaps. Then, they can determine which actions will have most impact on liquidity and prioritize those actions in order to bridge the liquidity gaps. Finally, they should also establish simple processes that can be run nearly hands-free or through remotely located staff and supported by technology that enforce proper controls. During this unusual time, maintaining required level of liquidity has become one of the most serious challenges for finance and treasury organizations. SAP S/4HANA delivers this through its end-to-end integrated treasury and working capital management application with analytic apps. Step 1 is the treasurers need to be able to get a full 360-degree view of their liquidity forecast to identify issues in the cash flows. In step 2, they need to quickly analyze various improvement opportunities, which include source not just in treasury, but also across the full financial supply chain, including receivables, payables, and credit lines. Step 3, based on the analysis made in step 1 and 2, the treasurers now can decide the best mitigation strategy, which could include above collection, renegotiating payment terms, and rebalancing the portfolio of debt and investments. Step 4, treasurer can use one or more tools available in the standard SAP system to initiate and manage funding actions. Step 5, they can always return to the executive dashboard to review the result of all the mitigating actions. Finally, in step 6, the treasurer also has multiple tools available to monitor and control FX risks, and if their business is exposed to such risks. In this demo, you can see how SAP integrated treasury and working capital management can support these end-to-end processes. Treasury Executive Dashboard is the central place to do all the analysis. It is constantly updated and stay up-to-date performance at any moment of time and get on-the-fly information of your business. In Liquidity Overview, you can analyze liquidity of your business. Here, I can change the selection by regions to understand where has been affected by the crisis. Then, we can go to the cash management. Again, we can select the desired regions and evaluate the cash position for the company. Now we can scroll down to liquidity forecast to look at what are the projections. And you can see that there is a liquidity deficit on several days. Let's click on a specific date. On the right-hand side, it tells us the categories of cash flow and details. Accounts receivable is one of the sources of improving liquidity. In this example, you can review your aging for your receivables. Take a look on your top 10 customers, and if there is any questions or issues in collecting money, you can determine what further action is required to take. Accounts payable can also be reviewed in a similar fashion. You can determine if certain payables can be pushed to a later date, or certain payment terms can be renegotiated so that you can ease the liquidity situation for your company. Another source of cash flow is debts and investments. This is a self-service, multi-dimensional report which can help you to understand financial position in different ways. To be able to run end-to-end processes, treasurers need to take an ecosystem approach where all necessary processes have the ability to interact seamlessly. In SAP S/4HANA, treasury applications are integrated part of the digital core. The working capital management is the center connected to the surrounding applications to deliver end-to-end functionalities through APIs and other integration technologies. Coming back cash and liquidity management, the three main pillars are effective management of bank relationship, integrated cash flow across the company, and complete visibility of cash. They are working together to support critical cash and liquidity decisions of the company. These solutions allow companies to analyze their KPI instantly using embedded dashboards and analytical reports. They allow them to create comprehensive view of cash flow, manage all the bank accounts in one place, and analyze total financial position without waiting for manager to compile data from multiple sources. They also allow them to run hands-free straight-line processing across the whole ecosystem with multi-bank connectivity. And they allow them to increase total control and compliance of their processes. As the treasurers are being asked to be more strategic, solutions cannot stop at the traditional boundaries of the treasurers of the past. This includes accelerating their receivables, optimizing their payables, or reducing customer credit risk in order to increase liquidity. Companies are looking for treasury functions to support broader working capital management operations. So a complete set of SAP solutions can help them in optimizing the working capital requirements across the full cash-to-cash cycle. In addition, the cash flow changes are automatically captured on treasurer dashboard so that they have instant information for faster decision-making. And for effective hedging strategies, financial risk management applications can maintain consolidated exposure positions, utilize latest market data, and use smart trading functionalities. This picture describes how all the pieces of FX hedging process are interconnected, including the integration of trading platforms and market data providers. All these functions are automatically feed data into analytic application to give you a complete and up-to-date picture at any time. We all hope the current crisis is coming to the end. However, companies don't have to stop once the world emerges from the current crisis. They should continue to build a strong treasury foundation for the future. The reshaping and advancement of technology continues to improve quality, speed, and volume of information, therefore providing more transparency and control to the treasurer. Best-run finance organizations deliver business results faster, more reliable, and transparent, and at lower cost. With real-time access to detailed information anywhere, anytime, you can proactively make better decisions for your business. Digitization is not about assembling a patchwork of different applications that are not designed to seamlessly integrate or cannot keep up with the changing world. Digitization requires thinking not only about today, but also tomorrow. Treasury is a part of finance organization and cannot operate as an island. The treasury of the future needs to be strategic. It means the ability to separate signal from noise. It means to continuously assess and mitigate risk. It means embedded controls and exception monitoring. It means to run simple, standardized, and integrated processes. And it means run more and more automatic processes utilizing the latest machine learning and other emerging technologies. As you prepare your company for the future, you can continue to enhance your treasury foundation. You can add more functionalities in the areas of cash and liquidity management, payment management and bank connectivity, financial risk management, and reporting and analytics. SAP provides finance and treasury solutions to address your challenges in today's environment and emerge from uncertain times with resilience. With that, this concludes my presentation today. If you have any questions, please drop down in chat room. In the meantime, please take a minute to complete the evaluation for this event. Thank you. I see there is a question about what are the deployment options for SAP Treasury solutions. SAP S/4HANA Treasury and Risk Management are available in the cloud and on-premise, so you can choose based on your situation. And the surrounding applications such as market data management, trading platform integration, and multi-bank connectivity are cloud-based applications. Another question is, my company uses many different banks. Do I need to build connection to each bank for straight-through processing? That's a good question. SAP S/4HANA support host-to-host and integration with SWIFT network. But for your case, SAP multi-bank connectivity is most suitable. This cloud-based solution will directly connect your corporate to your banks, so you can save your time in building bank connection one by one. If there is no further questions, this goes to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.
Well, we're expensing it anyway, right? So I'm gonna have the chicken. I'm gonna have the chicken. This is the best chicken at any lobster restaurant.